Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be taking a look at John Oliver.
Ooh.
He's a comedian who's won a ton of awards, like 21 Emmys.
Wow.
Yeah, and 3 Peabodys. But what's really interesting is the kind of material he does. It's not just your typical late-night comedy. He's known for really getting into some pretty serious and sometimes even kind of obscure topics. We've got a couple of great interviews as our source material today. So we're going to try to figure out how he got to where he is and why he does what he does.
Right. You know, it's funny. He really has carved out this unique space for himself in the comedy world. I mean, he can make you laugh about nuclear annihilation 1 minute and then have you thinking about hospice care the next.
It's a pretty wild mix.
Yeah.
And to think he got his start doing stand-up at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is, well, it's known for being a bit of a chaotic free-for-all.
Oh, yeah. The Fringe is legendary. I mean, you've got thousands of performers from all over the world all crammed into this tiny city in Scotland for a month. It's intense, and it's definitely a trial by fire for any comedian. You really have to be able to grab people's attention and hold on to it.
I read that in one of his early shows at the Fringe, the audience literally dwindled down to one person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then even that person walked out. Can you imagine?
Oh, man, that's tough. But you know what? It says a lot about his character. To keep going even when you're basically performing to an empty room, that takes guts and a serious dedication to your craft.
Definitely. And it seems like that dedication paid off because he eventually landed a gig on The Daily Show. And get this, he was hired on the spot after his audition.
That's incredible. But you know, The Daily Show was such a groundbreaking show. It really changed the landscape of political satire. It was smart, it was funny, and it wasn't afraid to tackle important issues. It's no wonder it became such a breeding ground for comedic talent like John Oliver.
Absolutely. So you've got this guy who's honed his skills in the pressure cooker of stand-up comedy. He's done his time on one of the most influential satirical news shows ever, and then he launches Last Week Tonight, which is kind of its own unique beast in the late-night landscape.
Oh, for sure. Last Week Tonight is different. It's not just about the quick jokes and the celebrity interviews. Oliver really goes deep on these topics. He'll spend a whole episode dissecting a complex issue like, I don't know, the death penalty or the pharmaceutical industry. And he does it with this incredible blend of humor and really in-depth research.
And the range of topics he covers is mind-boggling. I mean, we're talking everything from nuclear annihilation to, wait for it, the complexities of organ donation.
Right. There's no subject that's off limits for him. I think he's drawn to these topics that are often ignored or misunderstood. He wants to expose the hypocrisy, the absurdity, the things that just don't make sense. And of course, he's always looking for that angle that's going to make for a really compelling and often hilarious story.
And to tell those stories, he's put together this incredible team. I mean, he's got former journalists, a whole research staff. It's like a think tank meets a comedy writer's room.
Exactly. And that's what makes the show so unique. They're not just throwing out jokes. They're doing their homework. They're making sure the facts are right. But they're also finding those little nuggets of absurdity, those unexpected angles that make you laugh out loud, even while you're learning something new.
And it's not just about entertainment, right?
Yeah.
These deep dives actually have real-world impact. Like that segment he did on Clarence Thomas, where he offered to buy him a new motor coach if he had resigned from the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah. That was brilliant. And it wasn't just a funny bit. It was a really pointed critique of the lack of accountability for Supreme Court justices and the influence of wealthy donors. And that's what's so effective about Oliver's approach. He uses humor to shine a light on serious issues in a way that traditional news just can't.
It's like he sneaks up on you with the comedy and then bam, he hits you with his thought-provoking commentary.
Exactly. You're laughing 1 minute and the next minute you're like, wait a minute, he's got a point there.
So we've got this British comedian who's made a name for himself in America. He's married to an American veteran. He's now a U.S. citizen himself. It's almost like he's this comedic anthropologist studying American culture through the lens of humor.
It's a fascinating perspective. He has this outsider-insider view that allows him to see things that maybe we as Americans take for granted or just don't notice. He can point out the contradictions, the hypocrisies, the things that just don't make sense. And he does it with this affection for the country, but also this willingness to call it out on its flaws.
And that's what makes him so interesting. He's not just here to entertain. He wants to make us think. He wants to spark a conversation. And sometimes, let's be honest, that conversation can get a little uncomfortable.
Oh, definitely. But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We need to be willing to have those uncomfortable conversations, to challenge our assumptions, to look at the world with a critical eye. And if we can do that while laughing, well, that's even better.
Absolutely. Well, we've just scratched the surface of John Oliver's career here in this first part of our deep dive.
Yeah, there's so much more to unpack.
Huh?
And the next part will delve deeper into the impact of his work. We'll look at specific segments from last week tonight and how they've sparked conversations, raised awareness, and even driven real-world change.
Stay tuned. It's going to get even more fascinating.
So we were talking about John Oliver's really unique perspective, being British, but focusing so much of his comedy on America. It's almost like he's got this X-ray vision that lets him see right through all the quirks and contradictions of American society.
Yeah, it's like he's this outsider looking in, and he's not afraid to point out all the things that we as Americans might just kind of take for granted or not even notice.
Exactly. And it's not that he's being mean-spirited or anything. It's more like he's just, I don't know, bemused by it all.
Like he's shaking his head and chuckling to himself, oh, you crazy Americans.
Right. But at the same time, there's this real sense of affection there. Like he's genuinely interested in trying to understand this place and its people.
One of the things that really struck me about the interviews was how much he emphasizes the importance of research.
Yeah.
His team is like a pack of bloodhounds digging into every single detail.
Oh, absolutely. They're not just going for the easy joke.
Right.
They really want to get to the bottom of things. And I think that's what gives the show its weight. You know, you're not just getting a superficial take. There's real depth and substance there.
It's like investigative comedy.
Exactly.
It makes you realize that there's so much more to these issues than what you see on the surface. And the fact that they can make it funny, that's just amazing.
Oh, yeah. It's a real skill to take something that's complex and potentially even boring and make it both informative and entertaining. That's the sweet spot. And Oliver's team definitely knows how to hit it.
And the crazy thing is, it's not just entertainment. These deep dives actually have real-world impact. I mean, think about that episode you did on the death penalty. It was hilarious, but it was also so powerful and moving.
Oh, absolutely. That was a tough one to watch. But it was so important. He really laid bare all the flaws and injustices of the system. And it sparked a lot of conversations, which is what he's all about, getting people talking and thinking about these issues.
And then there was that episode on predatory lending. That was another one that really hit hard.
Right.
He exposed how these payday lenders are basically trapping people in a cycle of debt, and actually led to some changes in regulations in some states.
Yeah, that was a big win. He shows that he's not just preaching to the choir. He's actually reaching people and making a difference.
It's amazing what he can do with comedy. He can take these really complex, sometimes even dry topics and make them not only understandable, but also genuinely engaging.
It's like he's found the secret formula. Humor plus in-depth research equals social change.
Maybe that's the answer to all the world's problems.
Who knows?
I know.
But it's definitely working for Oliver.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to see someone using their platform to do something so meaningful.
One of my favorite examples is that segment where he offered to buy Clarence Thomas a new Notre coach if he would just resign from the Supreme Court. I mean, it was so out there, but it also made this really sharp point about the ethics of Supreme Court justices accepting lavish gifts.
Oh, yeah. That was classic Oliver. He's always finding these creative, unexpected ways to make his point. And it works. People pay attention, they laugh, and then they start to think, maybe he's got a point there.
He's like a comedic ninja, sneaking up on you with the laughs, and then bam, he hits you with the social commentary.
Exactly. And he's not afraid to ruffle some feathers. He'll take on anyone, politicians, corporations, even the Supreme Court. And he doesn't back down, which is refreshing in a world where everyone seems to be so afraid to offend.
And yet he does it all with this, I don't know, this twinkle in his eye, like he's just having fun with it, which I think makes him even more effective. People are more receptive to his message because they don't feel like they're being lectured.
It's true. He's not trying to shove his opinions down your throat. He's just presenting the information, the facts, and letting you draw your own conclusions.
And the fact that he's willing to be self-deprecating, to make fun of himself, that just makes him even more likable. You can tell he doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah, he's definitely not afraid to poke fun at himself, which is a good quality in anyone, especially a comedian.
It's like he's saying, hey, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but let's all try to learn and grow together.
Exactly. And I think that's why people respond to him so well. He's genuine, he's intelligent, and he's funny as hell.
So we've seen how Oliver takes this deep dive approach to comedy. He does his research, he finds the humor, he makes us think. But does it actually lead to real change? Is it more than just entertainment?
That's the question we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive. We'll look at specific examples of how Oliver's work has sparked conversations, raised awareness, and maybe even nudged the needle on some important issues.
Okay, so we've spent the last two parts really digging into John Oliver's comedic style, his approach to research the impact of his work.
Right. We've seen how he can take these complex issues and make them not only understandable, but also hilarious.
But now the big question, does any of this actually translate into real-world change? Is it more than just entertainment?
It's a question that's been debated for a long time.
Hmm?
Can satire actually make a difference? Can laughter really be a catalyst for change?
I mean, we've already touched on a few examples like the segments on the death penalty and predatory lending. Those actually led to some pretty concrete policy changes.
Right. But there are also a lot of other examples, like that piece he did on municipal violations, those seemingly minor offenses like parking tickets or overgrown lawns.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. He made the point that these small infractions can actually have huge consequences for low-income communities, leading to debt court appearances, even jail time.
Exactly. It was this brilliant expose of how the system often punishes poverty rather than addressing it.
And the amazing thing is that segment actually had an impact. Several cities started rethinking their policies on municipal violations, and some even implemented reforms.
It's pretty incredible to think that a comedy show could have that kind of effect.
And then there was that whole series on for-profit colleges. He really went after them, exposing their predatory recruitment tactics and the insane debt they burdened students with.
Oh, yeah. That was a big one. It sparked lawsuits, investigations, and even led to some of those colleges shutting down.
It's like he's holding these powerful institutions accountable with humor.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. And sometimes the impact is less about concrete policy changes and more about just starting a conversation, raising awareness about an issue that people might not have even been aware of.
Like that time he encouraged his viewers to submit public comments to the FCC about net neutrality.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. The response was overwhelming. Millions of people flooded the FCC's website with comments.
It's like he activated this whole army of engaged citizens, all thanks to a comedy show.
It's pretty remarkable. He has this ability to take these complex issues and make them not only understandable, but also something that people feel like they can actually do something about.
It's empowering. He's giving people the tools and the information to engage in the political process, even on these really complicated topics.
And even if not everyone who watches the show is going to run out and write to their congressman or become a political activist, just planting those seeds, getting people to think critically about these issues, that's huge.
It's about fostering a sense of civic engagement, reminding people that they have a voice and that they can make a difference.
Exactly. And that's what makes John Oliver such a fascinating figure. He's not just a comedian. He's a cultural force using laughter to illuminate the absurdities of our world and encourage us all to work towards a better future.
He's making us laugh, he's
Yeah.
making us think, and he's inspiring us to take action.
And that's a pretty powerful combination.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of John Oliver. We've covered a lot of ground from his early days in stand-up to his deep dives on Last Week Tonight.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring how humor can be more than just entertainment, how it can be a tool for education, social commentary, and even a force for good in the world.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of ideas and personalities. Until then, keep laughing, keep learning, and keep those brains engaged.